So Ruben Amorim is set to become the new head coach of Manchester United, taking over from Eric Ten Hag, and Man United are going to be paying somewhere between 10 to 15 million to Sporting. So is Amorim worth this massive fee? For me, he definitely is, and let me explain you why. So let's start off with a brief background of Amorim, as Amorim's coaching journey so far has been nothing short of remarkable. He started off at Casa Pia, however at Casa Pia things didn't go well as he was banned from football for a year by the Portuguese Football Federation. The ban was later removed, but he handed his resignation to the club, and next up he went to Braga, and in a short space of time he enjoyed massive success, leading them to the first title in 4 years, which was Taça da Liga, and had a really strong domestic record, beating giants like Porto and Benfica. In such a short time, he made a huge impression, especially to the Sporting president, who was convinced of his capabilities and paid 10 million to Braga and appointed him as the new head coach. So it's really important for us to know that before Amorim took over Sporting had been undershadowed massively by Porto and Benfica for the past 2 decades. But all of this changed as soon as Amorim stepped in, as he guided Sporting to the first league title in 19 years, and that season Sporting only lost 1 game and also won Taça da Liga. And after 4.5 years, Amorim is walking away with 2 league titles and 2 domestic trophies, and Sporting have enjoyed their best spell of the 21st century under him. And this season as well, Sporting have been on fire, going 9 wins out of 9 in the league, while scoring the most goals and conceding the least. On top of that, they are unbeaten in the UCL, as well as, most importantly, during his time he has won the hearts of Sporting fans and established a really special connection with them. Therefore, many Sporting fans have been extremely emotional over his departure, while few saying that he is the best Sporting manager in the history. And next up, he faces a massive task at Man United, and by no means will this be an easy one. But Amorim has so far proved that he is capable of overcoming the obstacles and providing solutions. United have been stuck in a chain of constantly changing managers since Sir Alex left, and this reminds me of how Sporting was stuck in a similar loop, as they had changed 5 different managers from 2018 to 2020 before Amorim's arrival. So let's start off with the tactical shift that Amorim is going to play. Amorim sets his team in a 3-4-3. In the build-up phase, the goalkeeper joins with the right and the left centre back to provide an extra option, while the central centre back moves up and forms a double pivot with one of the 8s. This allows the other 8, in most cases is Morita, to push further up the pitch and act as more of a box-to-box midfielder. When the team moves high up the field, this build-up system turns into a 3-2-4-1, or most commonly known as the 3-2-5. In Amorim's system, both wing-backs are responsible for providing the width, while the wingers are more often inside forwards, operating in half spaces, which is very rare in modern football, as most wingers are used as touchline wingers. Amorim's side generally like to play out from the back and are comfortable in doing so. They constantly use the third-man combinations and triangles, particularly out wide, to advance forward. We have also seen certain automations in his system. And a really important feature of Amorim's side is the directness, and they can constantly utilize the long balls in order to be more direct, which highlights Amorim's one of the biggest strengths, which is his pragmatism. In advanced areas, Amorim's team utilize their wing backs, who constantly provide overlaps, while Gyökeres, the centre forward, is constantly running the channels. Sporting don't have the ball, they use a shape of a 5-2-3 and turn to a mid-block, focusing on zonal marking. Out of possession, Amorim's side again reflect his pragmatic nature, as sometimes they press extremely high while other times they sit deep. This 5-2-3 is extremely narrow when in a mid-block and is hard to break down, and can be reflected through the stats, as Sporting have just conceded 2 goals in 9 league games this season and are one of the best defensive teams in Europe. Amorim has also proven that defense is his biggest strength, and a lot of emphasis is given to defense. Sporting are also not used to conceding many counter-attacks or transitions due to the shape, and Amorim is indeed a defense-first kind of manager, but he definitely has shown flexibility and improved his attack a lot over the past 2 seasons. So taking his principles from Sporting and applying them to United, I don't see much changing, as Amorim is likely to stick with the same formation. When it comes to the personnel, I think that this is how United might line up under Amorim, and I definitely can see a possible redemption of Maguire at United. And although I'm not his biggest fan, but he definitely seems to suit the central centre back role in Amorim's system really well. As for the midfield, we know that Amorim has already coached Ugarte and he has performed really well under him. I can definitely see him starting along with Menu. who I think will act more as a box-to-box midfielder, similar to how Morita plays at Sporting. I do expect both Mazraoui and Dalo to excel under him, as his fullbacks have always been more offensive. On a side note though, I can't wait to have Luke Shaw back, as he's a very special player and suits Amorim's system really well. Moving on to the front three, I can see Rashford as one of the inside forward along with Bruno. And although although I'm a huge fan of Xerxes, I think Højlund will get the nod due to how good he is in the channels, similar to Gyökeres. Amorim has developed his team into an all-rounded one over time. And one of the most important aspects of his tactics is that he does not overcomplicate them and likes to keep them as simple yet effective. And this quote from Sergio Conceição, the former coach of Porto, perfectly reflects the game model of Amorim. Therefore, I do think from a tactical perspective, this model fits really well with the current players United do have. But the biggest challenge that awaits for him at United is dealing with the players, the media and the fans. As we know, United are one of the biggest clubs in the world and there is a lot of noise around them. Constant controversies and getting targeted by media is common. And this is arguably his biggest strength. Amorim is fantastic in dealing with people, whether it be the media or the players. He has always taken the responsibility and the initiative of finding solutions. Therefore, I do think that he is going to succeed at United, but by no means will this be any smooth journey for him. But the board has to put a lot of trust in him and back him for the long term. The best part of this move is that we will be able to see finally a different style of play in the Premier League, as Amorim will bring more directness and a back three system which hasn't been used properly since Bielsa left. And I'm quite excited how this move pans out for United. And this is it for this video. I hope you did enjoy this, and if you did, make sure to drop a like and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.